The Bible is full of incredible stories, and each one is full of wisdom and guidance for our lives. In the book of Genesis, chapter 6, we find a story that is both sobering and inspiring. It is a story about the consequences of sin, the power of faith, and the faithfulness of God, even in the darkest of times. This story, though ancient, speaks to us today in powerful ways. It reminds us that God sees everything, cares deeply about the decisions we make, and always offers a path to redemption and a new beginning. As we delve into Genesis 6, let's open our hearts to the timeless truths it holds. It is a story of judgment and redemption, despair and hope, and it offers us valuable lessons as we navigate our own paths of faith. Genesis 6 paints a vivid picture of a world spiraling into darkness. The human race, created in God's image, had strayed far from His heart. Wickedness and evil were rampant. Violence and corruption filled the earth. God looked down on His creation and saw the depth of their sin. The Bible tells us that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The world had become a place of chaos and disobedience, a far cry from the paradise God intended it to be. The world had become a shadow of the beauty it was meant to be, and God's heart was filled with grief. It's hard to imagine the Creator of the universe feeling regret. Yet Genesis 6 tells us that God regretted that He had made humankind on the earth, and His heart was filled with pain. This verse reveals the depth of God's love for us and the pain He feels when we choose sin and darkness over His perfect plan. God's sadness wasn't a sign of weakness or regret for creating humanity. Instead, it reflected His perfect holiness, His hatred for sin, and His deep love for His creation. He couldn't bear to see His beloved children trapped in a cycle of wickedness and destruction. Despite the rampant sin, God's heart longed to show mercy. And so, He made the difficult decision to send a flood to cleanse the earth, to wipe away the evil, and give humanity a fresh start. In the midst of the darkness and corruption, a single light shone brightly, a man named Noah. The Bible describes Noah as a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time. He walked faithfully with God, a shining example of obedience and devotion in a world consumed by sin. God saw Noah's heart, his unwavering faith, and his commitment to living a life pleasing to Him. And so, God chose Noah to be His instrument of salvation, to build an ark that would protect him and his family from the coming flood. Noah could have questioned God's plan, but instead, he trusted God completely. Noah's faith is a powerful testament to the importance of trusting God, even when we don't fully understand His ways. God gave Noah specific instructions on how to build the ark, a massive vessel designed to withstand the coming flood. He told Noah to use gopher wood and to cover it inside and out with pitch. He gave him the exact dimensions and told him to build 3 decks and make a roof. This ark wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of God's grace and salvation. Noah's obedience in building the ark demonstrated his faith in God's promise and his willingness to follow God's plan, even when it seemed impossible. God instructed Noah to bring 2 of every living creature onto the ark, male and female, to preserve them through the flood. The ark, filled with animals and Noah's family, became a floating sanctuary, a testament to God's faithfulness to His promises. The story of Noah and the flood holds powerful lessons for us today. It reminds us that sin has consequences, both for ourselves and for the world around us. When we turn away from God, we invite chaos and destruction into our lives. But most importantly, the story of Noah offers hope. It reminds us that God is merciful and compassionate. He sees our hearts and longs to extend His grace and forgiveness to us. Noah's life teaches us the importance of faith and obedience. We may not always understand His ways, but we can trust that He knows what is best for us. The story of Noah and the flood is ultimately a story of hope and redemption. It reminds us that no matter how dark the world may seem, God is always working, offering us a way out of the storm. He is a God of second chances, a God who makes all things new. Just as God provided a way of escape for Noah and his family, He offers us a way of escape from the destructiveness of sin and the consequences of our choices. Through His Son, Jesus Christ, we have been given the gift of salvation and the promise of eternal life. The rainbow that appeared after the flood serves as a constant reminder of God's promise to never again destroy the earth with a flood. It's a symbol of His faithfulness, His mercy, and His unending love for us. Even when we face our own personal storms, we can cling to the hope found in the story of Noah.